We are live now. But I am not seeing the edit, so we may have to. I don't know what's up. This thing's weird. Hi, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Xbox Talks. We are live now, as you could tell. We are doing a special. Oh my God! Look at all those users join. Hey guys, welcome. We could give it a few minutes, let everybody in, and then we'll start doing introductions.
Yes. We good?
Yeah, we're live. We're just waiting for the room to populate a little bit, guys. So just go ahead and give us a few seconds, and we'll start the show pretty soon.
So if anybody wants to get up and have a chat with us or give their opinions, talk, just raise your hand, and we'll pull you up as well.
All right, I got chat up, everything. All right, guys, let's go ahead and get this show started. Welcome, everybody. This is Xbox Talks. Jay, you are the historian, the cataloger of episodes. What number is this?
This is episode number 68. I'm here.
68. All right, number 68. Yeah, man. Who would have thought? What is it? How many shows ago? I think we started talking about the ABK acquisition. We were talking about this earlier.
Episode 6.
Episode 6. So we've already gone through 62 episodes. 62 episodes.
And it's done.
We didn't even video way back then. You know, we were just really trying out the Reddit Talk platform, and yeah, it's amazing that we made it this time.
Well, for those that don't know, we are bringing this over. We used to do Reddit Talks over on Reddit, which actually gave us a really great opportunity to connect with those on Reddit, which this Discord is from. We're kind of a brother-sister kind of relationship with that. We are an extension. This is an extension of us. We are an extension of the Discord. So yeah, we used to use Reddit Talks, and then Reddit, in true Reddit fashion, decided to shut that down. So now we are going to be bringing this here to Stages. It was kind of actually, as you know, a door closed, the window opened, however that saying goes. So we will be doing these shows here. We encourage you guys to come chat over here on the right-hand side. If you guys see it, if you guys want to come up and talk, you guys are more than welcome to come up and talk. We are streaming this live to YouTube as well. Let me see if I can get you guys that link, and then yeah, we'll get the show. So let's introduce our round of hosts. I am Kevin Korkenstein. We have Anthony Mokoworm.
Hi, how you doing? Calling in from the UK. CMA backer. Joking. I'm joking.
I was like, oh man, we're gonna get canceled before we even start. We have Ivan Grimprovise.
How's it going, everyone?
And we have Jay Foreman, who is here. I don't know how long. He is literally gone fishing. Not yet, but soon.
I'm here remotely, so
what was that? It kind of came in a little muffled.
Oh, sorry about that. I just said I'm here remotely, so I'll be tuning in and out best I can.
Yeah. So he's gonna be here with us, and Mikey is on vacation. I think he may join us later. He's a little busy and tied up right now, but Mikey J. Raymond, he's one of our other hosts we have on here, regular hosts. So yeah, let's get the show started. We'll open up like we usually do. What have you guys been playing this week? Diablo 4? Yeah, Diablo 4.
Diablo 4. I've still not bought it. I need to buy Diablo 4. I've been playing Gears 5 multiplayer. So this new season, I don't know if you know, I think it's the last season, and they're giving triple XP out permanently. There's a ton of achievements related. There's a ton of achievements related to character progression, level progression, re-ups. So I thought, I'll just have another go, and it's just completely got me. I'm hooked. Every time I'm not playing Gears 5 now, I'm thinking about playing Gears 5. So I don't know how long that's going to last, but the multiplayer is awesome. It's really cool, and I recommend it highly.
You know, Gears multiplayer mode. Yeah, Gears multiplayer has always been a solid fun. Usually, I like to go back every now and then. If this is the last season, maybe I might make a little romp through multiplayer.
Yeah, definitely. The other thing is a load of games just got the achievement updates. So a ton of my back catalogue has got extra 1,000 points added. So I've just sort of like in between Gears 5, I've just been dipping in and just recompleting all my games that are in my back catalogue. So that's what I've been up to.
Very nice. Mikey's busy. You may be able to take that achievement hunter title from him while he's busy writing for Windows Central. Grim, what have you been playing?
Well, I went back to Street Fighter 6. I've been playing that
Did
a lot.
you?
Yeah, the ranked is something else. You know, ranked in fighting games, you always end up seeing people try and do the gimmicks and all that stuff. And I'm trying to get into Diamond, so that like gold to platinum range is where you have people who are trying to learn combos, setups, frame traps, or you have people just trying to cheese the game. And it's just so wild. Just seeing people party hard and ranked is a lot of fun.
Nice.
How good are you, Grim? Where do you sit? I mean, you I know you as being a fighting game aficionado.
This is your time to flex, Grim.
So, yeah, so with Street Fighter, like, because I'm more into Tekken, right? And when it comes to Street Fighter and like any sort of 2D fighter, I'm kind of just running with fundamentals and that's it.
Mhm.
And Street Fighter keeps changing what it is every time. So like 4, it was very like playing combo heavy, things like that. 5 was like make sure you know how to do V triggers, you know, and whatever. This one is like learn to drive impact and drive mechanics, but also make sure you have good fundamentals. And since that's a thing, I'm higher than I've ever been in a Street Fighter game where I'm like sort of getting into platinum, which isn't that high. It's still low. Diamond and Master is considered high rank. But it's like I'm not the best at it. I'm still getting like caught off guard with like things that you know, like basic fundamental stuff. And then when they do a drive impact, when it's like, okay, this is definitely my turn, drive impact cancels it. So I'm getting cheesed basically. So I'm not that good. I'm basically up or low. You know?
Do you have who do you play? Do you rotate your characters, or are you a particular guy?
I'm rotating between Juri, Cammy, and Manon at the moment. And I'm doing that to sort of understand the game on a fundamental mechanical level, because if I just play one character and learn matchups, that would be good too. But I also want to kind of understand, like, okay, if I play this character, what am I going to get caught by? What shouldn't I do? And I'm just mostly trying to understand frame data between all the characters. And Manon is very interesting in the fact that it's one, like, compared to Cammy and Juri, all of her moves are negative, which is like the worst. I'm like, oh man, this is terrible. And you have to try and link certain things into command grabs. It's just a lot of fun, but it's also weird because I go from like a rushdown character to a grapple character, and I'm like, oh boy, what am I doing?
You are using terms that I have no idea what you're talking about.
I'm just nodding and shaking my head in agreement.
When you say frame, do you mean like the frame that you have to hit the button to get the move, the move in? So what negative
like
means you have to hit before?
Well, no. Okay, so like in Tekken, right? The fastest move you could do in Tekken is 9 frames. But the fastest move you could do in Street Fighter is 4 frames. So I'm already like way off base when it comes to this stuff. When you're negative, so like let's say with Manon, if I hit you with medium punch, medium kick, which pulls you in, you are negative 2 frames. So that means if I do any move that starts up like 4 frames or less, I will beat you out because your fastest move is 4 frames. So you have to do basically nothing. You would have to block or get away from me. And if I do my 5-frame startup command grab, if you try to jab it, I'll still beat you because I have like a 2-frame advantage. So my grab now turns into a 3-frame grab.
That's insane.
Yeah.
That's insane. I mean, I can't even. That's a whole other level, mate, to me. But that's
yeah, it's a lot.
Wow.
All right. And Jay,
we've
for
got
you,
lots-
if you can.
Yeah,
I don't know if you're
so,
still busy.
No, I'm here.
Okay. I wasn't sure how much you want me to call on you with everything. But yeah, what have you been playing? I think I saw you play a little Diablo 4.
Yeah, season 1 is rolling around the corner here, so we had to get through the campaign. You know, the deadline is near, so I wrapped up one of the Final Fantasies. I've been working my way through that series, as I've been talking about on here, but it was time to finally bunker down and finish the campaign. The campaign was pretty good. I don't want to spoil it too much. The ending was a little, you know, just like I thought, I don't want to spoil too much. It was a little open for me. I'll just leave it at that. So
difficult to hear Jay's microphone, but Is that just me?
No, it's a little choppy. I understood most of it. It's a little choppy. Sorry, guys. I'm getting our socials and everything out onto the different channels that we are live so we can have more beautiful people to talk to like you guys. Let us know down over here in the chat. So for those that are seeing, this is a new setup we're doing. I said we're doing Discords. If you're in the chat over here at Discord, I can see it. If you're over on YouTube, we can see it. You can interact with us on both platforms. Discord's just another really awesome community. The Xbox community, Xbox on Reddit community is just really awesome. If you guys want to join, the Discord link is... we'll actually be posting that in the channel. Oh, somebody already did. Perfect. Look at that. Beautiful. But yeah, it's just another community. We can see where you guys are chatting from, wherever. But please join in on the fun if you guys can. We'd love to have you guys come up, tell us what you're playing this week. This show is yours as much as it is ours. It's been a while since I've said that. It feels good to bring everybody back in so they can start talking and chatting with us again. I think that's what makes us kind of unique. So yeah, let's get into the news then. I want to tackle the Larry departure, but I think we should save the best for last. He's an absolute legend.
Yeah.
And he'll be sorely missed. And then we'll loop up back around there. Who wants to start off? Is there a topic or something? Do we just dive straight into the ABK FTC?
Yeah, let's just do that. Let's get it out of the way. Because it's been a long time. I mean, and we also covered it so in the week we had a show in the week, but the ruling yesterday hadn't come down, obviously. So it's over, it seems, apart from this divestiture in the UK business for the CMA, potentially.
It's pretty close to over, right? We've been trying to get this out of the way for over a year and a half, and we're still trying to get it out of the way. There was some news that developed today that Microsoft is seeking an extension in the UK where they're going to be trying to close in an amicable way. I think it's the best way to put it. They could get real, close over and kind of throw their hands up in the air and say screw you guys, but that might not be the best long-term solution. So it looks like they might be trying to do this, like I said, amicably, trying to do it where they can save a little of the relationship, because this isn't going to be the last time that Microsoft is probably dealing with the CMA.
So the rumors are that over here we have a carrier called EE. I don't know if you have that carrier in the US, or it's someone familiar to you. But they're saying that they're going to take on some of the cloud gaming service. That's potentially going to happen. I personally don't know what that would look like. I don't know how that would work. I wouldn't see Microsoft wanting to do that. They're being forced. It's just a little confusing to me at the moment how that would actually work in this country. Am I going to lose access to cloud? Am I going to have to pay an extra fee to a different provider? It's a bit ambiguous for me right now.
Yeah. I mean, I kind of want to make the joke too, because I know we're like, oh, let's just get this over with. Let's just get this over with. But then we're going to start next week's show and it's going to be like, so guys, what's going on? What's happening? We're going to have nothing to talk about because this has been such a huge thing. I'm joking, of course. There's plenty to talk about here with Xbox. I do want to read some of the comments out here. Cade said they got to play nice in the UK for the next acquisition to go well. That is very true. And then we have Caffeine. I just want it to be over. I think all of us do. I got my Xbox around the time they announced the ABK deal, and it just feels like everything is hinging on that. And that is also very true. Oh, look at that. We have Mikey J. Raymond. We'll let him get set up real quick and see. There's his camera. There's that beautiful
There
face.
he is.
I totally forgot.
He slept in.
You organized this, Mikey. You organized this.
I know. Okay, so this is not really, well, it is audience appropriate. Has anybody here seen Barbarella?
Yes, of course.
Okay,
No.
well, me and my wife were watching it for the first time, and it's this
wow.
weird 60s film with Jane Fonda where
Yeah.
she's naked frequently.
It's where
So
Duran
we're
Duran
just
got the name for the band from. Duran Duran is the name of the band.
And that's what I was Googling, and I opened my phone because they found the spaceship Duran Duran.
That's right.
And then I saw the "We just went live" tweet from Cork, and I'm like, "Oh!"
I was a little worried because you were like, "Oh yeah, she's naked a lot," and I was like, "Please tell me this is not going where it's going. Why you are late?" to
I mean,
this
we're not going to get
talks.
into it. There's a weird part where he plays it with a pipe organ. It's very, very odd. But you'll have to watch to find out. It's nothing graphic.
Oh,
It's such a weird. Oh man.
I was like, is it like weird, like in the sense of like Clockwork Orange weird, or
No, just
You can tell it's a '60s film.
okay?
Early, like what the '70s became. It's different, man.
Well,
Anyway.
everybody, this is Mikey
Hi.
J. Raymond. Let's welcome him to the show.
where were we?
Please.
Yeah, there we go.
You were talking about cloud gaming in the no wait. I was talking about cloud gaming in the UK.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah,
know
if you wanna-
I don't know what's going to happen. I'm a bit sort of like it's a bit of a double-edged sword for me, obviously, where I am, because it's like, yes, amazing, it's done, but then is it going to be great for? Well, I say me, but the UK, me.
Mhm.
Personally, it'd be rubbish if we lost cloud gaming or xCloud, or
Well,
I had to pay an extra fee to access that service, or and EE's not a great. They're all right, they're not particularly top known for having a great service, and
Mhm.
so I don't know how it's going to play out for me.
Yeah, it's going to be weird because they submitted this, I think, a month ago, is the rumors that are going around. I think Bloomberg reported on it that they submitted this talks. I mean, I'm pretty sure, this is what happened. The cat came out and they were like, CMA, you guys are idiots. They got scolded pretty hard by Cat. And then I think that's what kind of forced CMA, because they realized, listen, this isn't going to go the way we think it is. Cat's already pissed off at us. We need to do something if we really do want to stop this, or we really do want to, they already saw the writing on the wall. A lot of people thought it was because the FTC got, shut down. But yeah, no, this agreement, or what they're working towards, probably got started about a month ago. And then, yeah, they pretty much got told.
Reportedly it did.
Yeah.
Yep. I don't know if you guys said that or not yet. They apparently Microsoft gave these concessions to the CMA a month ago, and they chose not to act on them until the trial.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is all they've got now to fall back on.
Yeah.
Well, could Microsoft? Sorry, Kev, but could Microsoft not? Now they've got this strength with the position in it. Could they not? I don't know. Retract that now with the CMA, or dial back what they offered originally? Because now they're in a position of strength with 40 countries having, approved the deal.
I don't know.
I don't think they're concerned in doing that.
Yeah.
Well, why would you want to lose?
I think they're over it.
Right.
Well, I mean, they're still going to get revenue. They're just making money through a company there. I mean, because I don't know if you guys discussed this. Who's EE?
So EE are like, who do you have in them? They're just a mobile provider like O2 or Telefonica, or I don't know who you have.
They're like a Verizon, AT&T.
Yeah, they're
Did
just
you discuss them? They sell Game Pass right now, and the big Jez said this, and I think Florian pointed this too, and some other, maybe Tom Warren said that's probably the company they go through, so they'll still make a profit. They will have somebody else sell them. They're going to lose a percentage, and in one country, just to get this deal finally through. If I'm Microsoft, I'm over this.
So in real terms, then, for my Xbox service, I'm not going to see any difference. You don't think?
From what it sounds like, no.
Okay.
I don't think you're going to have to buy multiple subscriptions. That would suck.
There was talk of
really
like,
hard.
People were rumoring that there was an extra subscription. Like I would have to pay EE a subscription, for example, and not Xbox. And I don't know. Obviously it's all hearsay.
Yeah, there's a lot of that chatter, and you know what? It's kind of weird that they're supposed to be protecting consumers and making it easier, and it seems to be making it more complicated.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, definitely. Goes against everything the CMA have put forward. I don't know.
I think if they had to sell cloud separately, the CMA would find out just how unpopular cloud gaming is. So,
yeah.
I mean, no offense, it's great technology, but it's not that popular. It's not right now. It could be, but I'm not playing Call of Duty on the cloud. I'm not even going to play Crash Bandicoot on the cloud because I'm going to miss my jumps. Sorry.
Didn't Microsoft even admit that that the cloud stuff is not where they want it to be yet? It'll probably take years before it becomes something that they're happy with. I remember hearing something similar to that.
Yeah. And I think even Sony's on record saying that it's iffy. I mean, they don't even have the best cloud. From what I hear, everybody says that NVIDIA is the top dog right now in the cloud business. And I believe that because I think powering their technology, they have 4080s. So they're not sitting out there running with Xbox Series X, which, God bless you, it's a good console. But compared to a 4080, it's nothing. You can get apparent 4K out of that 480. I mean, that'd be pretty dope. 4K 60. Sorry, it's something that we don't get a lot on console lately. So
The golden land, the land that was promised, but we haven't seen it too much yet.
The FTC ruling was unsurprising, according to most people who were commenting on it. They expected that yesterday. But it happened at like 1 a.m. my time, just as I got into bed. It just blew up. I saw your article, a few others, and I was like, oh my God. I ended up like scrolling my phone till like 3 a.m., just like following Florian and everyone. And it just blew up. It was just crazy. What a moment to experience, and be a part of after all this time was just incredible. And I saw Stephen Titio, from Axiom Games. He tweeted, I'm going to ask you a question here. What was the most downloaded PS5 game in the US in 2022?
most downloaded PS5 game.
Yeah, I'm assuming these facts are correct.
I'm assuming it's Call of Duty.
It was Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. The most downloaded PS4 game was also Modern Warfare 2. And the third most downloaded PS4 game was Minecraft. And he finishes by saying, this now makes Microsoft Sony's most important third party.
Wow.
For now,
Pretty much.
So I mean,
for now,
it is pretty incredible, like what's happened. I mean, it's Jim. I know what Carter's going to say now, but if you were Jim Ryan, you would be crying a little bit, wouldn't you? It's like it's insane. What's
Crying
happened.
Jim
I mean,
Ryan.
he's on
Brian
record.
Lion, dance moves, Jim Ryan. I don't know by last count.
Dance moves.
Doesn't want my
A lot of stuff
deposition
was thrown in
public,
there.
Ryan.
The other big thing that everybody's tweeting today is that they haven't signed that 10-year contract. They haven't signed it. So where does that leave them? Like, because the Judge Cawley in a statement actually wrote something. You'll know this, Mikey, from doing the coverage, but she actually included something about that she expects Call of Duty to be exclusive to Game Pass. Did you see that?
Yeah.
So that's in writing. That's in writing. He's not signed a 10-year. So like, where does that leave them? It's Phil Spencer's and they won't give PS6 dev kits. They've committed we're not giving PS6 dev kits to Activision. So, where are they? Where do they stand?
I like
that franchise.
I do want to read
We're
Cade's
still-
thing real quick. They said MSB like, what 10-year contract?
I mean, if I'm dude, if I'm Microsoft right now, I'm not giving it to them on PlayStation Plus. I'm not. I'm withholding that now, especially now that it's in writing. That's they can do that because this still is pro-consumer, as someone's argued. Because people have argued that it only being available on one subscription service is pro-consumer, except the part that harmed the FTC in the preliminary injunction trial is their own witness, that Harvard economics professor. I can't remember what their name was. They
Lee?
said that Lee, yes.
Okay.
They mentioned that it could be exclusive to Game Pass and be fine. That they mentioned that it wasn't going to be on any other subscription service if the deal did not close. So the fact that the deal closes and makes it available in a subscription service is pro-consumer. That's the problem with the FTC's argument, because when you look at it from a legal standpoint, more offerings in more places makes it pro-consumer by definition, at least legal definition.
Yeah.
So they don't have to give it on PlayStation Plus. I mean, if they're good-willed people, they might still, but I'm taking it away from them now. But they're getting Call of Duty, but it's not going in PlayStation Premium or Plus or Essential. It's not.
Yeah.
I don't even know if Sony wants to pay that, though. That's the other problem. They'd have to pay for it to still be in the subscription service, which is a lot.
Well, we know that Microsoft are willing to take the hit on titles because there was a story yesterday that was in where they projected the sales, how many million sales. What game was it?
10 million
For what title was it? I can't remember.
for
It was something
Starfield.
for Starfield. So they predicted 10 million sales on PlayStation 5, and they just, that just shows that they're willing to take that away. They're not. It's not about the 10 million sales. They think that Game Pass will have more. It will come back to them through Game Passing through other channels by keeping it exclusive. So it shows where the heads are or where the internal dialogue is.
Because that number was interesting to me too, because they've said that it doesn't make financial sense to take Call of Duty off. And I get that they make $1 billion in a week or whatever, but that's just across all platforms.
Mhm.
You got to imagine that over its lifetime, it's close to $1 billion on one platform like PlayStation. Do we have an actual number how much they make? I'm sure we do, and I just don't remember right now.
For what is
But
this?
For Call of Duty on PlayStation,
Oh,
because
how
I'm
much
making the
they-
comparison to
Mhm.
if they sold every Starfield copy at, we'll just say $60, even though it's $70, that's $600 million. So they're willing to eat that, but they're not willing to eat Call of Duty. I mean, I guess Call of Duty's yearly, so that's a lot more than every 5 years, but I don't know. That kind of actually hurt their argument a little bit when I heard that.
Call of
From
Duty,
my
though,
perspective.
Also,
Sorry, go on, Jay.
okay.
Call of Duty has that residual income kind of aspect to
Right.
it, where there's something like Starfield, maybe with some DLCs and stuff, but it's not those constant buys that we see in games like Call of Duty. And again, I feel like this is just a situation where a game where it's a games as a service, it makes sense as multi-platform. Now, I do agree that you're not going to see it on PS Plus because we didn't see it on PS Plus yet. They've never been able to meet the price that Activision was asking to get on a subscription service. So that doesn't make sense. And if there's no parity clause, then there's no reason to put it there. But Call of Duty is definitely going to be on PlayStation.
Before we move on,
even outside of like the
I just want to read
I
some of
was
the
just gonna
comments
add
here from some people. Masterman says, shame Discord doesn't have polls. Would be interesting to see what people think about whether MS would close on Monday or negotiate an extension with ABK and figure out with CMA. We will get to that, but that is an amazing idea. Caffeine said everything other than COD and Minecraft should be Xbox and PC only.
Agreed.
Cade says a lot about potential future ActiBliz games and exclusivity too. And Caffeine said, isn't COD going to be 2 years? I thought they switched to the biannually as well.
Oh yeah, released it.
As of right now, we're getting Modern Warfare 3 this year.
For 2023, right? Yeah, because they were already showing it off, I think, at an NBA conference, right?
Yeah, that's I've known that for a while.
Yeah.
Still can't say anything, but I've known that for a while. It's like the only insider information I've ever had in my life.
and you've just told everybody.
Well, now they've announced it, so now I can say it.
Wait, are Sony going to sign a 10-year? What do you think? Is that going to go back to them and it's going to happen? And
They
if so,
have to.
I think so.
but they're not. They've already said we're not going to give PS6 dev kits to Activision if Microsoft own them. So they get.
They're going to get the PlayStation 5 version. That's what's going to happen that 1 year. It's going to be a non-definitive version. It's going to be the worst version on PS6.
Yeah.
Because that's what happened with Minecraft. And then because after the console releases, PlayStation will give them dev kits.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
So
I mean, I don't know. I think
Sony's
that's
1
a
year.
bluff from Sony. I think that was just a way for them to try and like a Hail Mary kind of attempt to be like, see, parity isn't going to happen. We're not going to do it because it's insider. This is why it's dangerous. But Sony's not stupid. If COD really is that big of a moneymaker for them, they're going to want the best version possible for their system. I think it's a bluff. I think
I don't know because they did it.
Go ahead.
They did it with Minecraft, and Minecraft's the third highest revenue game right now. Still.
Yeah.
So I don't know. If I'm Sony, I don't know. I don't do it.
I think COD though has a bigger, I don't know. I think for them, that makes a ton of cash for them. That has a huge install base on their platform. For them to be like, yeah, we're going to skip a PlayStation 6 version is basically telling gamers, go buy an Xbox Series X. I mean, are they really going to take that risk?
Did you see the data that came out in the trial where they had, it wasn't supposed to be released? I can't remember the number. Mike will probably know it. How many people own a PlayStation and only play Call of Duty? Did you see that data point? Did they find there was a number? It was how many people own a PlayStation and only play Call of Duty, and it was like a really high number. I need to find it.
Yeah, it was like around a million. I forget the exact number, but I know it was like at least a million.
Yeah,
like the only ever exclusively play Call of Duty and nothing else. So it
brings in another interesting point that we kind of learned this week too, and it was Microsoft saying that Activision should have never pulled Call of Duty from Steam. If you're not familiar, they did that trying to boost up BattleNet, their own launcher, and they were hoping to grow their launcher by doing so. And in the time that they pulled it off, Steam doubled in size. It went from like 70 million to 140 million users. Wow. And BattleNet got absolutely no lift from having Call of Duty there, or at least very little lift.
But I wanted to add to like Mikey's point earlier where it was talking about like Starfield purchases or Call of Duty purchases. Now, if Starfield and Call of Duty are on PlayStation, they still take like a 30% cut, right? So like, do we have to factor that into like potential revenue from sales when it comes to selling games on different platforms?
I would say yeah. I mean, well, we'll see, because I think they still get until the end of this year. I think they're still getting what they said it was like the 88-12 or like 80-20, I think was the contract that they currently have, which they'll have to honor, I think, either to the end of this year or next year. But we'll see. I mean, what the next percentage is, I guess. I mean, that would be up for Microsoft and PlayStation to decide. I mean, I doubt it's going to go below 30, but
they could, I guess.
Well, I mean, the standard is usually 70-30. That's why. So I mean,
it is. But Activision argued I originally thought I heard 2080, but it sounded like it was actually something like 86-14.
It was like 88-12. That's why I was bringing it up. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you don't want to be too scummy.
Yeah.
But they're in the position of power. But Sony they don't have anything ready to fight back with. So if they were to block it, they don't have anything yet. So Microsoft right now is in position of power. If I'm Sony, I only sign a 5-year deal. I don't want 10. And I work on making another shooter game to stand against this, to start taking sales away from Microsoft. That would be my plan. I would be bringing back SOCOM, Resistance, or Killzone.
What about Battlefield? We talked about it a little bit earlier. What about Battlefield just kind of sitting out there? I mean, they could try to partner there.
Yeah.
They could, but Xbox is already partnering with EA. Did they swing in on that? I mean, right now you have EA or EA, whatever it's called. I'm just going to call it Plus, is on Game Pass. So it's like, can you swoop in on that deal right now? Are they allowed to, or is there another marketing agreement assigned right now? As far as I can see, currently, if you want to play a shooter nowadays, and if you're looking to be an FPS gamer, RPG gamer, and more from 2023 forward, you're getting an Xbox.
Yeah. I mean, Kate just said 88-12 is crazy. Every copy of COD Sony sells makes Xbox 7 times the money. Better Sony does, the more they help the competition. That's just a complete reversal of the argument we heard the other week, isn't it? When Xbox were complaining that everything, the better that Sony did, they lost money.
Yeah, I do want to say, Gaius the Rapper, nobody here is an employee of Xbox. This is a fan ran podcast. But Caffeine was I want to make the same point. They need to spin off Destiny 2 into a PvP only game. Bungie has hands down some of the best gunplay in first person shooters in my mind. I mean, I think what they've done with Destiny 2 is scummy. I've totally talked about this, what they've killed Destiny 2 in my eyes, but they do have some of the best first person shooters. I mean, give Bungie a new project. Hey, here's this first person, which I think they do have some of it already, something in the work with that was the contract they signed with NetEase, I believe, is to develop a new IP. But I agree. Give Bungie something. They are an amazing first person shooter developer.
I think Destiny, from my time with Destiny and Destiny 2, I think it's one of the greatest IPs of all time. Like, I love that IP. I only stopped playing Destiny 2 just from burnout, and a lot of my friends dropped out, and most of the fun was always playing with people and raiding. I mean, I know Bungie has always said they're going to be multi-platform, but I mean, do you think that's going to stick? Are we in fear of not seeing the next extension of Destiny on Xbox?
We'll see it
because of this. Because of this deal. I mean, because of as a retro, reply to the ABK.
No, the deal that Bungie signed with Sony stated that they have to remain multi-plat. That was the agreement that Bungie forced Sony to sign. That all games that they're making will be multi-plat. That's why Marathon is coming out to Xbox as well.
Right.
It also wouldn't make sense because, like, in the sense that, like, PlayStation went for them for the live service and, like, games as a service type model. So to restrict so many platforms when they're trying to make these types of, like, microtransaction revenue games, I don't know. It would be a weird acquisition to do that and then be like only on PlayStation now. You know what I mean?
Yeah. What would spinning off multiplayer only? What would? I mean, that's a good idea. It's like
they're
as
doing
a free to play multiplayer Destiny 2. That would be pretty cool.
They're doing 3 new Horizon games. Reportedly, right now they're making an MMO. The co-op
Bungie?
game, so that's
Sony?
different. Sony is.
Oh, okay.
And they're doing it with Bungie's live service help.
Oh, yeah.
They're a single player Horizon 3. So they're making 2 multiplayer games in development right now, from that one IP, and they're reportedly working on another 10. They're shotgunning this live service thing. Whatever hit sticks or whatever sticks they run with. So it's going to be interesting. I don't think those are all going to be multi-platform. I can't see factions, coming out to Xbox, but I do think it's going to be PC, PlayStation. They're going to have a ton coming, and that's what Bungie was for. Although one could argue that people are kind of upset with Bungie right now. They have been, it seems. I don't know the controversy, but I see a lot of people upset with Bungie and their market right now.
Everybody's always upset with Bungie.
That's true.
If you go on Reddit, they actually had to make a sodium-free Destiny subreddit.
Oh, I saw that. I joined it. I didn't know low density sodium. It's called.
Yeah, low sodium Destiny subreddit, because that's been for like 5-6 years now, 7 years. As pretty much as soon as Destiny 2 released, they had to make it, because trust me, I've been in that Destiny 2 subreddit for a long time, and everyone's always just complaining about something about Destiny. Granted, I think a lot of it's fair, but yeah, it got so bad that they had to make a new subreddit.
It's just so bloated. The game now is from when I was like, hardcore Destiny 2. It's just so bloated now. There's so much stuff. Like it's like it's creaking at the seams. Like, as a new player, I think it's impregnable. I don't think you can get into it.
I do want to read. Yeah, I do want to read some comments. Parsnip saying Sony is just will just replace COD. The number of games in the graveyard that they've tried to be the next COD Fortnite is Grimace Face. Yes, you are correct. Oh. I think if anybody can do it, it would be Sony with the install base and everything that they have in the beloved franchises that they do have, because they do have some really good first-person shooters. Yeah, I think if anybody could do it, Sony would probably have the best bet.
It says there's already a low sodium marathon subreddit. I hope that's true.
There's already. Oh no, there is not, Cade. Is there really? Okay,
I
I'm gonna
hope
look
that's
that
true.
up. See, everybody already knows what Bungie's gonna do. They already know, so they're already making a subreddit. That's great.
Extraction
Guys,
shooter.
If anyone
community, go ahead.
I was gonna say, if anyone wants to speak, raise your hand and join us. We can get you up.
What were you gonna say, Mikey?
I was gonna say, extraction shooter communities, they are just they're so toxic. I wish there was a low sodium escape from Tarkov subreddit. It would be nice.
Yeah. I think even
we
the Rainbow Six subreddit did it too.
so I had
That one
responded
really
to
was, yeah.
to the Parsnips comment, and I just said, well, they're not going to try to replace it, but they need to try to take some percentage of the market. And Parsnips
Yeah.
responded, um, even that is an uphill battle. Seems to be an approach that they are doing with the massive move towards games as a service, with 60% of game resources towards GOS games. Gas. I like saying
Games.
GOS.
Goss.
Truthfully, I think they are biting themselves in the ass, considering it's the God of War or Gods of War that achieved their success. Massive move away from that is a big gamble, and I agree with you. We talked about it last time that Sony is moving into the live service market while Microsoft is going back to focusing on single player. They're still continuing their live service they built up, and more will come. But it's definitely not a market that they're trying to shotgun like potentially Sony is. So it's going to be interesting to see the next 5 years.
And
Although now,
oh, go ahead.
I was going to say now Microsoft bought ABK, so here comes more live service and WoW, that survival title that they're working on, and more. I mean, Diablo is now theirs, so they bought a live service maker. They don't need to make more; they now just own more.
And yeah, that was my biggest thing is I'm really, really worried about Sony and how they've handled MTXs before, the microtransactions, and how they've handled light service, especially Bungie. That's what Bungie's mostly in hot water for constantly, is how they monetize their games and how they sunset stuff people have already paid for. They have a lot of scummy tactics. And that's my biggest worry, that if Sony is going to use Bungie as a crutch for their next live service, I don't take that as a very good sign, just because of Bungie's previous history. Yeah, they make money, but the way they go about it is not consumer friendly at all. I do want to bring up or point up, we do have Masterman here on the stage. Welcome.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Hey, buddy.
Can I say one
Speaking
thing?
of Bungie's
Oh.
approach to Destiny, I'm not a Destiny player, but I've been following basically how Destiny evolved and how Bungie evolved, especially after their breakup with Activision. As far as I remember, Bungie started kind of doing more, I would say, anti-consumer things after the breakup. So I remember people saying that during the time when Activision published Destiny, it was actually, well, I would say relatively better. I don't remember the details. Maybe someone might add up to that point. But I definitely don't remember them like shelving content during when the Activision published the game.
Talk. What when you say scummy practices over the past? I mean, maybe this is since I've left the game. Like, what are you referring to? I mean,
For me,
like definitely like Masterman said. Then in the first 10 years, the first Destiny game of that period, it seemed I didn't experience anything crazy. Are you talking like microtransactions and?
yes.
Oh, I'm talking about Destiny 2 during when Activision published Destiny 2.
Oh, were you talking about to me, Moko?
No, could be, yeah. So Masterman was saying that, but they became more after Activision. They left Activision, but you're saying that recently, and I've seen you playing Destiny 2 even just last week. Like, what are they specifically doing? You think that's pretty scummy?
Oh, well, I mean, this has been since they've started. Well, they did sunset a lot of content. I understand the reason why they did it. These were things that people have already paid for. Eververse has constantly been just this paywall of stuff that they've put behind paywalls. I've never been a fan of how they've marketed their expansions. They're doing full price games, $70, $60 games for like a 3, maybe 4 hour, experience. And then the rest is all multiplayer season passes. I don't know. I've just never been a fan of how much they bloat and inflate their games, and how FOMO is such a huge core. I guess it's improved recently, But FOMO has been a huge issue for them, and Destiny became a chore essentially. So you would play.
Yeah, that's why I stopped.
Yeah, you would have to play almost every week or you miss out on something, or every day, and then if you don't, you end up getting super behind. Again, it's an amazing game. It's a fun game, but how they've managed it and what they've done with it, I'm not a big fan of that. Mikey, you said you wanted to say one thing too earlier.
It was when he came on stage because his name was Master Man, reminded me of He-Man, and I was just gonna go, I have the power. That's it.
Masterman, what do you think of the
Yeah.
acquisition? Are you happy that the acquisition's gone through?
Definitely looking at how Blizzard has been, well, during the present time, and after the acquisition, I think, well, how do I say it? Definitely getting rid of the current management will be better for Blizzard, because as far as we have heard reports and stories of how Bobby Kotick, for example, micromanaged Overwatch 2 development and how it actually hurt the game itself,
Mhm.
I think it'll be better to kind of have, a studio head actually manage the studio instead of someone higher up at Activision, or even, have external shareholders influence the thing. Because, probably at Microsoft, the shareholders don't really pay that much attention to the gaming part compared to all the other parts of Microsoft.
Interesting.
How do you feel about? I've seen a lot of chatter online about Mike Ybarra becoming the next CEO of Activision.
Really?
Yeah, that would be quite a jump.
Yeah, but do it.
But he'd still
I'm
be
in on
working
that.
under Phil Spencer, which is hilarious.
I'm a big fan of Mike, so that would be great.
Back to how it was in 2016.
Yeah.
Caffey,
mean,
we
I'm
do
not
see you. We
sure-
will bring you up to talk shortly.
I'm not sure how the structure will be post-acquisition. Like, will ABK remain, a single group under Microsoft Gaming, like Bethesda is, or be like split studios? What I'm definitely confident in is that the board of directors will definitely be going out the door, and same probably goes for Bobby Kotick, since he's been the CEO. What he'll be CEOing it after the acquisition. So yeah, that's
He's gonna take his ridiculous amount of money and probably have a nice life somewhere.
His golden parachute.
probably time
Yeah.
for retirement.
I like Cade's take. Sarah Bond might be tapped for CEO of Activision. I like that.
Ooh.
I think
Well, that would
they're
prep her for taking over from Phil, wouldn't it, in the future?
yeah. I think they're prepping
I
her
love
for
her.
Phil.
Yeah,
to
for
take
I
sure.
over.
think she's terrific.
She's amazing.
She's got the right vibes. So that would be great. I'd love to see her move over there. Mike Ybarra is really cool though. But he's also kind of weird.
He's very weird. If you've ever talked to him,
yeah,
he's a cool guy,
very
nice
much
guy, but yeah,
he's part engineer. You can tell.
yeah. But I
Amazing.
mean, how much? I mean, though, with his current, what happened, everything with the QA and the return to work and how that situation played out, do you think that might hurt his chances for taking over CEO, or do you think maybe they might go with somebody else because of that? He kind of did get a negative rep in the company. If anybody can fix that, it's Microsoft with their very forward and progressive culture. But do you think that might hurt his chances for becoming the CEO? That was a pretty big thing. I remember a lot of people were pissed. It was all over.
Kind of forgot about that.
Yeah.
Masterman, we're
Yeah.
going to bring up caffeine. If that's okay, I'm going to say thank you for speaking to us and
Yeah,
somebody
sure.
else have a chance to speak.
Thanks, bud. We
Go on, man.
appreciate you. We're
Thank
here
you.
every week. Come by and come up
Also-
more.
I know we
Sure.
moved past the Bungie thing, but man, screw them for vaulting content. That's one of the reasons I didn't get back into Destiny, is because I would be jumping in at like
It's too
90%
much.
further in the story, and I'd skip half of it by now.
Yeah.
Caffeine, hi.
Oh, hi. How are you?
Great, thank you.
Oh, it's weird that you're avatar moves, the GIF moves when you talk.
What?
Nitro. Yeah,
Oh,
Nitro,
yeah, look at that.
You get the anime gifts.
Nitro, look at that.
That's
Every time you
awesome.
speak, it looks like
I've never seen it
you-
move in chat before, though. That's
you're eating
different.
eating a hot dog. What's that?
I just wanted to bring up, a lot of people don't seem to bring her up for next in line. The current CCO of ABK, I'm gonna Lu Cheng. I don't know how to pronounce her name.
Yeah.
She has kind of brought herself as a face of the company, at least on social media, as Bobby Kotick is, Bobby Kotick. So they've kind of pushed him to the side, and on social media at least, they seem to be having her as like I am Activision Blizzard type of situation.
She's
And
certainly,
I feel
she's certainly
she-
outspoken.
yeah.
She definitely wants to keep her job.
Yeah.
Is she? Here's the difference. It depends on, do you want someone that is hard like that, who doesn't, Lulu Cheng, doesn't hold back, or do you want someone that is just the friendliest person on the planet on appearance to take over? Because that's the difference between Lulu and Sarah Bond. Not saying Lulu's bad, but she's more
She is.
abrasive in her public appearance, whereas Sarah is just always about the celebration of gaming. I've never
Yeah.
seen her say a single negative thing.
She seems
she's
very,
almost a mirror. She's the female mirror of Phil.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know you guys have met her. I know, but she seems very like media trained, corporate, like you say, totally towing the line, like, but in that Larry Hryb kind of way. But then Lulu seems like a bit of a loose cannon. She seems like a liability. Like, I mean,
So-
I know it's great what she's done, but she, in a corporate like that, it's not usual to see someone firing off like that, is it, on the corporate channel?
Like Mikey was saying, she's pretty much just trying to keep her job. She does not have a very good rep well, it depends how much of her, she was very instrumental in orchestrating the union busting when they were trying to become a union, the Raven QA people and everything like that. But how much of that was an extension of Bobby? Was she just, was she the hand of Bobby, or, was this actually her just, trying to do her job and union bust? So as of already, she doesn't really fit the culture of what Microsoft is going for. I think Sarah Bond is a great addition. She would be somebody that, 100%, but I think they're getting her ready to take Phil. He already said he's not going to be here forever, and wants to get somebody in his place before he leaves. And I think that's going to be Sarah. But yeah, I don't know. Whoever's going to take over, I think maybe Mike Ibarra could. Or maybe they might bring, what was her name? Was it Jennifer? Who were their co-president, and they didn't give her enough money, so she quit. You guys remember her?
No,
I do not.
Yeah, it was her and Mike Ibarra, and they both started off as co-president, or co-VP, whatever it was. And then, Activision didn't give her enough money compared to what Ibarra was making until after she quit. When she quit and was like, "Deuces, y'all," they were like, "Well, we can probably make you equal pay with Mike." And then she's like, "Nah, you guys suck. I'm out."
Here you go. I know who's going to take over Activision. It's why she left 343. She'll be back. Bonnie
no
Ross.
chance. No chance.
Good old Bonnie Ross.
Here she comes, boys.
Kathy,
I should be like,
She was making way.
Call of Duty launches and they don't get content for a year.
we need the Stone Cold, Stone Cold, just as she comes in as like the announcement, the glass breaks. By God, she's got a chair.
Kathy,
By the
where do you stand on the acquisition, Kathy? How do you feel about the weekend's news?
I mean, honestly, any company buying company, in my opinion, isn't a good thing. But in this situation, when the way we're currently seeing it, is that if anyone would buy Activision Blizzard, I'd prefer it to be Microsoft. If they were because it was obviously on the table they were selling. If anyone were to buy it, it would probably be Microsoft over any of the big, giant conglomerates that are currently buying every studio ever.
Jeff Grubb this week has said that he's heard that Ubisoft have put themselves up for acquisition. They're looking to be sold.
Oh yeah,
So-
because are you guys aware about the whole Ubisoft internal war that's happening?
No, inform me.
So I'm gonna spark note it real quick if you don't mind. It's basically the founders of the company are just want to keep making Assassin's Creed games, and the board or the board of like directors, whoever the shareholders are leaving in droves because of that. So it's causing like a point where people want the founders of the company to step down as like major players, and they're just not doing it. So I'm assuming that's why the sale is happening.
Well, they've just said that they've not put themselves up. I don't. That's the wrong word. But Jeff Grubb said that they're open to acquisition.
Oh, I see.
But that, I mean, obviously Microsoft can't take that on now. Is there a potential that? Well, I mean, Mike, you know financials of this stuff, and from all the stuff you've looked into, like, could Sony buy Ubisoft? Is that something they could afford or they could do? With the market cap they have?
It is something. Somebody says Embracer says hello. Embracer doesn't have the money to buy Ubisoft.
No?
But Sony does.
Yeah, Embracer's hurting right now too.
You guys are also forgetting about a couple. One of the reasons Microsoft supposedly, when we first heard about the Activision deal, it wasn't because they were scared of Sony or they wanted mobile too, but they saw a point where potentially Google or Apple were going to buy them. Those are players in the market right now that are potentially looking to get in. Amazon,
yeah, I was gonna say.
So Ubisoft could potentially go to one of those three. If I'm Sony, I would buy Ubisoft.
Yeah. I'd be scared of Amazon buying Ubisoft, I mean, Amazon seemed like the kind of company that would just buy it and lock everything down to Amazon streaming or Amazon Luna or whatever it is. Or Jeff Bezos doesn't care, does he? He just wants everything in his walled garden. That would be rubbish if Amazon bought them.
Yeah, I don't think they would manage it very well either. I mean, look what they've done with Twitch. They've kind of just ran Twitch into the ground as a gaming platform.
I love Cade's comments.
Platform.
I love Cade's comments. He's a funny guy.
Embracer has a slightly smaller market cap than Ubisoft. For them, it would be a merger.
Yeah.
And they're losing money right now in the studios they have, from what we've heard. Even though they bought them for pennies and then doubled up by selling the Lord of the Rings stuff. I think they could offload that to Microsoft. I keep hearing people talking about buying more studios. Where do you guys stand on that?
I think
about Microsoft buying more.
I don't think they can they? After this, after the scrutiny that they've had,
they can?
Do they want?
But,
they can.
Yeah, they can. It's just they won't be doing $70 billion. If this was like, maybe like like $500,000 or maybe like $2 billion, I don't think it would have gotten the scrutiny that it did. It got the big scrutiny because this is a $70 billion deal. And they're one of the biggest third-party publishers.
If Ubisoft was up for sale, what would you think the price tag is?
Probably $4 billion.
Really?
I had to guess, yeah.
That's a little bit over their market cap. They're like at $3.5 billion.
Yeah, I'd say they probably go for $4
billion.
Oh wow!
Because of the potential of Ubisoft Plus. Ubisoft Plus hasn't taken off really.
Enough to do you think $5 billion would be enough to I guess raise concern even after the Activision
I don't think it's the money. I don't think it's the money, is it? It's the IP. It's the amount of IP they control and
I think it would because they're another major third-party publisher.
Yeah,
What they need to do is start probably getting more developers. What I think they're going to do is they're going to tap Embracer on the shoulder. Hey, offload some of your IPs to us. That'd be the smart.
What do they own? What do Embracer own? I mean, the big IPs. What's the big IPs?
They have
Tomb Raider's the what?
Tomb Raider, Lord of the Rings.
Didn't they sell Tomb Raider and Lord of the Rings? Hold on. Sometimes, man, it's really hard to keep up with these acquisitions.
Tomb Raider's just been bought. Again, they've just sold.
I think they'll offload some of those IPs or ask, for some of those IPs. That's a lot easier to do than mergers. And then I think what they'll end up doing is once a lot of the time has gone by and once they've gotten their footing with Activision Blizzard, time to get Sega. They'll maybe start looking at Sega, developing that partnership more in the next year or two. And then because what they really need is a Japanese developer. They really need somebody that they can get their foot in the door into that market. If they really are serious about taking the Japanese market to the next level for Xbox, they need a Japanese developer. I don't think they could build one out there that would be embraced unless it was one of the bigger ones, like Bandai. I mean, Capcom, I think, is going to be way too big. Plus, with the Evo, Sony owning Evo, I don't think Capcom. Plus, they make crazy amounts of money. That would be one that gets a lot of scrutiny. But yeah, Temco, Sega, or at least buying divisions of Sega, maybe Atlas, things like that. If they really want to make that push into Japan, that would be their next best bet.
Also, just to confirm, they did sell Tomb Raider. Amazon is the publisher of the next Tomb Raider being made by Crystal Dynamics.
That's right.
And reportedly, they sold the entire IP for double what they bought everything for $300 million. They sold it for $600 million to Amazon.
That's right. They doubled overnight, didn't they? Yeah, I remember this. We talked about this a few months ago.
Yeah.
We all said it was like, that's a steal. Like, that's an insane steal for that IP. And then, yep, they ended up flipping it.
Yeah, just bought it, doubled it. And so bizarre.
If I'm Microsoft, the reason I brought this up and I mentioned it last week, I'm done buying studios. Stop. You
need some return, before they invest again, right?
They have so much talent that now is the time to sit down and go, okay, what can we make with everything we have? Because right now they can make a multiverse game of platformers, Spyro, Banjo, and Crash Bandicoot all joined together in one universe to take on Gruntilda, the mad scientist, and I don't even know who the bad guy in Spyro is. Like, you could just make a mashup of platformers and then sell the rights to Nintendo too and make a buckload of money. That's just one thing they can do. They have tons of first-person shooter makers, tons of RPGs. There's a rumor that I have to follow up on that Infinity Ward opened a studio in Spain, and they're making an open world RPG game. There's just, you now have so much talent in house that if you go out and get more, it's too much. Now is the time to prove that you can make amazing things with the acquisitions that you've done. So I saw it on the Xbox 2 podcast. They're talking about they also, I don't think, wanted more acquisitions. And I'm with them, and I've been with them for a while. I don't like that kind of talk. Stop talking about buying games and let's start about playing games and what the games can be made now. Let's change the conversation, in my opinion. And I think a lot of opinions up here. We just want to play now.
Well, for me, I think what they've been doing with Microsoft is kind of like this is why Redfall kind of took the hit it did. Xbox is buying these companies because they trust in them. They believe in them. They know they're their record and stuff. And I think that's what kind of bit them with Redfall a little bit. No pun intended, being a vampire game. But yeah, I think if they do acquire somebody else, they're going to treat it the same way they did with Bethesda. We trust you. We believe in you. Do what you do. When you fall, we'll pick you back up, kind of thing. So I know people, like you said, you want that, let's start playing games. Let's start creating games. I think they're already doing that. Microsoft is just getting these people in their house to boost their games already. It's not so much so they can start creating, but that is a good idea. I think Toys for Bob, now that they are going to be a Microsoft studio, would probably be that platformer. Them and Rare teaming up together. Oh man, what they could come up with.
And I'm not saying they're not making games now. I'm saying now is the time to show us what you've been making, which they have been.
Mm-hmm.
But they just have so much more talent again. Just with the studios at Blizzard, even before you get into Infinity Ward, Treyarch, Sledgehammer, Raven Software, it's just like it's incredible the talent that they now own, and I really hope they focus on keeping that talent rather than max exodus of seeing people leave. Let people create something special that they want to do. Keep the talent like Josh Sawyer,
Mhm.
allow them to make a Pentiment
Yeah.
or whatever they want to do. Because there's some really good games that can come out of that. And also, I did just follow up on that rumor. They do have a studio open in Spain now. So I'll have to dive more into that. I only recently heard that this week that they're making an open world game, which one made by Infinity Ward is that gets me excited.
Yeah.
That would
I mean,
be
that's
cool.
a pretty big leap for them too.
Mhm.
And I
It's
think
being led by
Okay.
developers from Infinity Ward. Like they didn't just open a new studio and then hire more people. It's yeah.
Caffeine, thanks for coming up, man. I'm going to just going to invite someone else up now.
No
Yeah.
problem.
Thanks for
Thank
speaking to
you.
us.
And to
Having
go
me.
while we get Kate up here, to go back to Mike's point, yeah, like Sawyer, he even said like once he saw that acquisition happen, that he knew that was his time to strike with Pentiment, to pitch Pentiment. And I think that's what you're going to see with a lot of these developers. I think Microsoft coming into ABK is going to breathe a lot of life that they've really needed, that morale boost, because they had mass exodus too on the Blizzard teams. I mean, look at Overwatch 2. They got hit pretty hard there. World of Warcraft, that team got hit pretty hard. The COD teams, they really haven't been too happy a lot of the times. And, with the whole QA and incident and everything like that. So I think this is definitely going to breathe a lot of life to getting a lot of these games in. Cade, welcome.
Hey, how's it going?
Good, bud. How you doing?
I'm good. I just wanted to float a couple ideas I had with potential future acquisitions once the 5 stars wears off. One of them is Certain Affinity, who I think they might need
reference.
if they go with something like Toys for Bob making a Banjo game. They're going to need to replace those developers working on COD, and a support studio like Certain Affinity, who's worked on the Halo games, might slot into that position pretty well. And then I think everyone thinks of Asobo, who makes the flight sim games, and then the Plague Tale games. They wouldn't want Asobo to be snapped up by someone else and, lose that developer. But one thing that came up during the trial was when Microsoft was defending their Bethesda acquisition, they brought up how Sony was trying to get exclusivity for Deathloop, Ghostwire, and potentially Starfield.
Mhm.
So they said that they were going to buy Bethesda almost defensively so that their platform didn't lose access to those properties. But now we're seeing a similar pattern with another third-party developer who's had multiple games in a row money-hatted by Sony.
Square.
Square. Microsoft needs a foothold in Japan. What are people going to do over there if they want to play Final Fantasy and it's Xbox exclusive? They're going to buy an Xbox.
I mean, it's tough for them to get Square, in my opinion.
It might be tough, but I think either Sony needs to buy them so that Microsoft doesn't, or Microsoft needs it so they get Final Fantasy and aren't permanently lost in Japan. But either way, I see Square snapped up by someone in a few years.
Well,
This is what I see
I think
happening.
Sony would.
Go ahead. No, you.
I was gonna say, I think if Sony was gonna buy Square, it would be defensively, kind of like what Xbox did with Bethesda. Because right now, Sony is getting the milk for free, pretty much. They got the exclusive deals. They're working really closely with Square Enix already. They don't have to buy them. But even if it wasn't Microsoft, like if Amazon or Apple or Google or any of these people want to come in and try and buy Square, maybe that's when we'll see like Sony bite for it. But I don't think they'll just do it off the cuff, like when there's really no threat at the moment. And I'm not sure if Microsoft would be that threat, especially after this big, Activision deal.
New question from me: Is Square a floaty company? Is it a shareholder company, or is it a? I mean, what would the acquisition look
publicly
like?
traded.
Right. Okay. So. Okay.
One thing I would say is that Sony bought Insomniac when they were pretty much making PlayStation exclusives as well, so they aren't, unfamiliar with buying the cow, so to speak.
Mm-hmm. And I think supposedly didn't Phil say something during the Kind of Funny interview that they have some big plans with Square Enix coming up at the Tokyo Game Show, or was that a rumor or something? I could have sworn I remember something about that they have some announcements to make at Tokyo Game Show in regards to Square Enix. I mean, I doubt they're gonna be like, we bought Square Enix, but I think we're gonna hear a lot of stuff, I think, from the Tokyo Game Show from Xbox, in partnership with Square Enix.
Watch, we get Final Fantasy VII Remake finally after Foreman beats it on PlayStation.
But yeah,
I
looked it up. It said Phil. Oh, God, sorry.
Oh no, you first, because I'm changing topics a little bit. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say I looked it up. Phil Spencer said he's improving relationships with Square Enix back in May.
Well, it can't get worse, really, can it?
Yeah. To be fair, there's only one way out for this.
We don't get anything.
And 2 years ago, Phil Spencer said they were reevaluating their business relationship with Activision.
There you go.
Yeah. Yes. But Cade, you mentioned in the comments, you just mentioned the comment, we had the Square. Who owned Tomb Raider when we had the exclusive? Didn't Square work with on Tomb Raider? Ignore me. Forget it. Carry on. Cade mentioned Tomb Raider in the comments, and do you remember when we had the exclusive with Tomb Raider? Rise of the Tomb Raider on Xbox. Was Square involved in that? No. Was that Total Crystal Dynamics?
That was Crystal Dynamics, I thought, wasn't it? Or were they still IDOS?
Crystal Dynamics, but the publisher, if I remember correctly, was Square.
Okay.
I don't know.
So that's a good point. Yeah, and they paid for your exclusivity. And that was the only time they really did that. And then I remember everyone hating them for that.
Yes, they did.
But Sony turns around and does it, and it's the greatest thing ever. They buy 2 years of Forspoken, which, by the way, I'm playing that on PC through the Xbox ecosystem.
I saw that.
I have an achievement too, and it's really weird. It feels dirty. But what I was going to say is, we're talking about acquisitions in Xbox. If Xbox does make an acquisition, it's going to be after the chain is set off, because I think now that Microsoft has made this win, we are about to see a lot of acquisitions happen. I think Apple's going to come in, Google's going to come in, Amazon's going to come back, Sony's going to buy what they want. We're about to see a kickoff event, because there's more players coming to the game, and once that happens, Microsoft will step in and buy someone again. That's the only time I think that Google will come in and then leave again. Yeah. Oh man! Now introducing Stadia, totally different.
Not Stadia.
Not Stadia. Stadia U.
Stadia U.
So Google. So just to be serious on this topic for a second, Google there's some announcement. Google going to allow games to be played natively via YouTube. Is this right? Right.
Yeah.
So how is that going to work? That must be on the Stadia technology, right? I mean, I know it's on YouTube.
100%. Yeah,
but
they're doing cloud gaming again. They're back. I mean, they have all that technology sitting there. They're going to use it. They just need to find a way to, source revenue from it appropriately. And Stadia wasn't the way. And I could agree, because their business model was terrible.
Well, everybody on the planet uses YouTube, right? Well, sorry, who has access to an internet connection? The audience is. It's like the Amazon thing, right? With Luna, it's through Prime. I mean, they've instantly got an audience of 100 million people, or whatever. It's just
Did Netflix buy some studios? Netflix did buy studios. They haven't bought massive studios. They've got some talent over there. Hopefully not someone like Phil Harrison, because it will sink.
Amazon has Luna and Twitch, so Google wants some sort of Stadia and YouTube, I guess. For their live streaming.
And Microsoft has Windows Phone and Mixer. Oh wait,
Mixer. Oh, it's a sore point. Mixer was so cool.
For the Windows.
Mixer was so cool.
Yeah, Windows Phone and Mixer rip. That's one thing YouTube hasn't done, which I'm very surprised. Yeah, they've gotten into the streaming, but if anybody could take on Twitch, it would be YouTube, I would think. Like, they really haven't divested as much or invested as much effort into making a gaming streaming platform, really. You know,
There
they've
is-
kind of made
there
it
is-
very
there is
general and
one.
broad.
It is there. It is
Yeah,
there.
respect and a lot of Dr. Disrespect, and I called him Respect. That was weird. And a lot of people are over there.
You better put some
Um,
disrespect on his name.
Only because he got banned. He's banned from Twitch, isn't it? But
Grim got that
It is
reference.
it is
he might
there.
be
It's in,
going
the,
to
it's, in the,
kick now.
it's in the tabs, on the left. It's they've got a whole gaming section. You can go in and what. It just seems to be not as, I don't know.
Well,
The profile isn't there, is it? The marketing, the profile, the people.
that's what I mean.
Twitch is
Yeah.
where
As
it's
we
at.
stream live to, as we stream live to YouTube.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know we are.
I mean, it just seems like
Um,
they could do a lot more with like how Twitch kind of does a lot of investment, and I don't know. It just seems like they focus YouTube on a more overall broad spectrum rather than branching this off as like its own separate thing. That's powered by YouTube. Something like that, and like heavily market this is a gaming platform. A gaming streaming platform. I'm just really surprised they really haven't like really upped it to 11. Like right now they got it to like 6, 7, but they really haven't cranked that volume all the way up. Sorry, I just thought that was kind of random little tangent. Did you guys want to continue on ABK acquisition? I think the only thing we have left for it, in my opinion, is that the Ninth Circuit denied the appeal, which means FTC's done. But did you guys want to keep going? We're already about an hour and 15 into acquisition talk.
I was just going to mention one thing. Did you guys talk about the potential of the acquisition date moving? Because that was something that kind of broke.
Yeah, we just
not yet.
So yeah, we started off with this saying that it could be extended to the 18th to make CMA provisions, but it's not confirmed yet. So
yeah, I think they're trying to work with Activision, right? Microsoft.
Yeah, I think what will happen is there's a term that I forget. Florian Mueller came out and said that they could allow the acquisition to go through right now, but not officially close in the UK. But that's up to the CMA to provide, and I think that's what we'll probably see.
Yeah.
Well, they announced that the stock is being delisted from the Nasdaq on Monday with the Activision Blizzard stock.
It's being replaced
by Trade Desk. Trade Desk, right?
Yep.
Yeah. I don't know. I think Monday's going to be the big day. I think that's when we're going to see closing news. I mean, who knows? There's so many different avenues.
We can talk about what about reactions to the acquisition? Did you guys see Chad Moore with In Exile? Do you follow him? He's the game director behind Clockwork Revolution. You probably saw his tweet.
Mm-hmm.
And he just this was after the acquisition, after the appeal was denied, and he goes, "Dude, let me tell you, it is so exciting to see the Xbox community so fired up. Love it. Let's do this thing." And then he replied, "We got this," in all capitals.
Nice.
And he's just so happy to see the fan base get so riled up. He's an awesome guy. If people don't follow him, look up Chad Moore. He's the game director, like I said, of Clockwork Revolution, and he's a good guy.
This is what I was saying at the beginning. Like, it was mid 1 a.m. here, and just to sort of like, I'm sat on my own at 1 a.m. just flicking through my Twitter feed and just refreshing, just seeing it happen like live in front of my eyes. Just even reading tweets alone was just incredible.
Mm-hmm.
It was just such a moment. I was like, wow, I cannot believe this happening. You could visibly feel from just reading the tweets. You could feel it, the excitement that everybody had. Just incredible.
Because now we get thing like Mike Ribara this morning. "Hey Todd, I'd be happy to test Starfield on PC."
Jay actually
he's
posted,
already in on it.
Mike Ybarra's reaction, which was the Dodgers, where he's
the
like,
video,
yes.
the video
Let me see, actually, we're on stream, so I can probably play it right here. Let me see if it will work. There we go. And yeah, he does that. Ugh. Yeah, I remember Ybarra said something about it.
Yeah, because the day before he said, "This is your tax dollars at work."
Yeah, he was pissed.
He turned into a little Lulu.
He did.
But if you want to move on to sort of the end segment of the show at the same time, we had the awful bittersweet news.
Yeah, I didn't know. Did you guys want to do some quick news?
Yeah,
or I'm not sure if there's any news that you guys want to talk about that broke. I mean, it's been mostly just ABK So I think a lot of stuff
agree.
has gotten drowned out.
Yeah, just the thing about Larry last night, at exactly the same moment, it was just a shock
I think
to read
I
to
think
read that. If you want to talk about that.
I think he
Oh, I was
bowed out
gonna.
because he did it as quietly as he could because he knew the other news was coming that day, no matter what it was, would drown it out. Man, I'm gonna miss him.
So
Yeah.
we're talking about Major Nelson stepping down from his role at Xbox, which is it was a shock.
Oh.
What shocked me about it was the brevity of the tweet. His announcement. It was just, "Hey, I'm going to be stepping down. Thank you." You know, and I know we engaged with everybody after that for a long time, but that it didn't really reveal much. It didn't say any. You know, it was very short and sweet, to the point. And it just shocked me a little bit how he did
Yep.
that.
Yeah.
He is 65. I mean, he could be retiring.
I think
Yes.
Yeah, I think he said he's looking for what's next. I think he's definitely going to go to. I mean, because 65. I mean, I don't know. That's still kind of young. You know, especially for his role, I think he could do a lot more in the industry, and I think he wants to do a lot more. He's usually a pretty busy guy. Time is money for Larry. If you've ever talked to him or interacted with him, he's very busy guy. He's a good guy, really awesome. I've talked to him numerous times at various fan fests. I think even on my tweet, I posted a picture of me and him when I said goodbye and stuff, like, thank you for everything that you've done. But yeah, I think he's going to do something else. I think he'll probably lay low for a bit, but he's a very busy, hardworking guy. He likes to work. He likes to go out and do stuff.
Why would he leave? Why would he? So his role here, he's so so known. He's at the probably after Sony, the world leading branding. He couldn't get any higher really with another brand.
Well,
in front of more people. Why would he step down from Xbox unless it's just personal ambition to go and to a new challenge, I suppose.
I think he's ready. I think he's retiring. And he's retiring at a good spot where, you got to remember where he came from. Back in the 360 days, social media wasn't really a thing. If you wanted news about Xbox, you went to
I remember
Major Nelson's
to
website.
Larry, yeah. He came from Winamp, right?
Yeah.
Wasn't it? Was he a Winamp guy?
I think so. And everyone was going to him. He was being sourced and stuff. He was the major news point of Xbox. Nowadays, you go out there and Larry is a one of many, and that doesn't even include the fans. You can get news from Phil, you can get news from Todd now directly on Twitter and stuff. It's just out there. He's slowly been replaced just by the
immediacy of
the immediacy. That's a good word. The immediacy of social media. So it's not that he's useless or anything like that, but he sees this probably as a good time to retire. His job is no longer totally necessary, and the world's in a good place for him to step down right now. That's the way I took it. I know because he was, he tweeted that he was crying at all the responses. He still hasn't seen my DM, and I'm gonna make him cry. I promise you that. Because I wrote a story about, and I'll just quickly say, I met him back in 2014 with Ryan Lighton, who was the head of the community stuff for Supercell now. He used to be the community manager for Brawl Stars, if people know him. Me and him met Larry, and I had been invited out, and this was right after I had broken up with a woman had broken up with me who I thought was basically my forever girl at the time. So I was in a really dark spot, and I got invited out to do the Xbox showcase, and it was absolutely amazing at one of the darkest points in like my life because I was really depressed. And I remember his genuine excitement showing through when he met us, and he's like, "Wait, you guys need a photo?" Because this was right after the showcase had wrapped up, and he grabs us both and he goes, "Let's get on stage and take this damn photo, guys." And like he just dragged us up, and he was
on the stage of the showcase.
On the stage of the showcase. So the one in my tweet, we're on the stage. You can't really tell, and I have braces on and stuff, and it's rough. I look like a total dork then, as my voice just cracks when I say that. Welcome to 33 years old, and it was just. Thank you, Larry, for that, is what I messaged him. It was a really cool moment to see that, and especially because I broke the story on Windows Central, about him leaving, and then to see him retweet it, it's just a small thing, but it's just like wow, where my career's gone and now
Jay's
his is
posted the
ending. It's
picture.
like,
Jay's posted
Oh,
your
there it
photograph
is.
in the feed.
yeah,
Wow.
Yeah. Larry's such
Is
a
that
cool
Ryan?
dude.
Is that Ryan in the middle?
that's Ryan in the middle.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
He did say on Xbox One, which we also moderate as well, that he's willing to do an AMA possibly in the future with us. He posted that in one of the comments on Xbox One.
Yeah.
He said AMA soon. So maybe that's something we can reach out to him about and see to get you guys, once he's settled down. I'm sure right now he's going through a lot and, decompressing and everything like that. But yeah, he's always been such an amazing guy. I've met him a few times, like I was saying, and just always just welcoming, open, just like every other Xbox person. Just very opening, humble, welcoming. Just one of the coolest dudes ever. I don't know. I think with the ABK acquisition and everything coming together and merging, I think he's making way for the next person in line. He's done a lot. He is the senior director of corporate communications, for those that want to know his actual official title. That's what he does for Xbox, the Xbox division. So he organizes their podcast and TV shows and everything like that, and then also on the Twitter and everything. Solid guy, Larry. We are going to miss you. I hope we can get you for that AMA. Anybody have another Larry story they want to share, or anybody in chat want to talk about how you guys first discovered Larry, on Twitter, or maybe you've actually met him and have an awesome story that you guys like to tell?
Sorry, Kay, go.
Yeah, I was just gonna say I met him at an Xbox One preview event, I think in Phoenix, and he was, like was mentioned earlier, really busy and was being rushed off at the time. But when some people, including myself,
Oops.
to us individually, stuck with me. Still prioritized us as fans during that time, and
Whoops.
seems like a cool dude. And then years later, I entered some little contest for Titanfall, the first game, and won a Titanfall Special Edition controller that he sent me. So, again, thanks, Major Nelson.
How come everybody's met Larry except... Have you met him, Grim?
No, I haven't met
No.
him.
Everybody's met Larry. Everybody's got
He only meets
everybody-
cool
every-
people, so...
Everybody
We're
who
out.
speaks goes, oh, well, everybody speaks goes, well, when I was with him. Oh, what?
It's just a testament
must
to
have-
how...
think
My story when I was
many-
with him at the darkest moment of my life.
I think how many people that guy's met, like how much service he's put in, how many conversations he's had. It's just off the scale, like the amount of time he's been there and the amount of interactions he's had with fans. And I've never heard a negative story about him ever.
His only negative is he's so busy.
He's very busy.
Another time I met him at FanFest, and you could just tell, he was willing to take a moment with you, but he still had to keep thinking about what his next thing was because it was just packed. He had to get from point A to point B all the time. Never slowed down. Oh, there's Cork and Larry.
Yeah.
Amazing.
I have a few more. I got to go through my archives. That's what this is right here.
Yep, that's in front of the garage, right outside the LA Convention Center.
Oh, let me see.
Recognize that? That's not. I don't know if that's a good thing.
That's cool.
I recognize that. I've been there too often now.
That's this hat right here, the mixer hat.
He's been and got his hat.
Yep, I still have this hat. I wear it all the time. Aaron always makes a comment about it. He loves the hat and the Xbox Addict pin.
I have my ambassador hat.
There you go. Look at the ambassador hat.
It doesn't even fit. I can't even get on my big head.
Mikey's looking for his Xbox swag.
Was Larry instrumental in starting the ambassador program? I seem to remember at the time there was a lady involved way back on the 360 forums. But I'm sure he was instrumental in the start in the ambassador program. which is it's pretty it's pretty big now. That's a pretty big part of the community,
Mhm.
which
Yeah.
is a super cool thing to do.
Yeah, it's yeah, let's get actually let me see if this will work. There we go. Showing Mikey. I'm doing the close-ups of the pictures so everybody can see it's not just a small little tiny thing, but yeah, me and Larry and stuff like that. Like I said, just genuinely one of the coolest guys ever that have that I've met, at Xbox. Actually, I saw him at Comic-Con too. This was when Crackdown was releasing and they did a event there. And he hosted him and Terry Crews, and it was for Crackdown 3. Another cool guy, too. Again, just stopped, talked to everybody, really took time away. I think he gave me a pin, actually. It was like the pin off. I think he had a pin on that I haven't gotten. And I was like, oh, my God, that's an awesome pin. And he actually gave me one.
Wow. What a story. He actually handed over his pin.
Yeah. Really cool, dude.
Incredible. Okay, thank you for coming up. We're probably going to wrap up now. So thanks for joining
thanks
us.
for having me.
Thank you, dude.
I would say, I don't know. I mean, we did save the best for last, Larry. You guys want to wrap up? I think there was one story that Foreman wanted to talk about as well. If he can, I know he's busy right now. About AntStream coming to Xbox. For those that don't know, it's a third-party service, streaming service.
I don't think you can speak.
No, I think he's pretty busy
AntStream
right now.
arcade service.
Yeah, that's coming to Xbox now.
Biggest content drop in history, apparently, or something. 1,500 games through a paid-for service.
I
It's
think it comes at
ad-driven.
Okay.
Come on, then.
I was gonna say I think it comes at an interesting time because like recently it was said that like 87% of games before 2010 aren't even like commercially available. So it's interesting that we're seeing them show up in like a streaming type service, even if it is like filled with ads.
No, it's a paid-for service. It's £30 a year for me to buy.
You could either do,
It's
I
like,
think, 30.
It's like UB Plus or whatever.
Yeah, it's like $30 a month or something like that, or $20 something. Or you could buy a lifetime right now, which I don't know how long that's going to go. So if this is something, I may just buy it just to have it. But it's like $80, I think, for a lifetime subscription.
It's not a month, Kev. I believe it's $30 for 12 months.
Oh, is it a year?
It's a year. Yeah, I think
that's
so.
what it might be. Yeah.
Kay just mentioned Earthworm Jim 1 and 2, and a couple. I read that there's going to be some. Is it some old school Nintendo games on there?
There is.
So I mean, for £30, which is half the price of a game here for a year subscription, I'd definitely be getting that.
And
definitely
it's
signing that up.
Yeah, especially for $80 for a lifetime, I'm going to do it probably just to have it, because you never know how long that might last for. They may be like, okay, yeah, we got to, we can't offer lifetime, but they've already honored it. So who knows?
Is it set? Do you think is it a service where that's you get what's there and that's it, or is it something that will be added to over time, like another, like a subscription service?
It'll be added over time. They've said that it's evolving. They're going to be bringing new games in, probably taking some out, things like that.
Amazing.
I like that. When I originally heard this, it included Sony games. It's got 2 games.
That's it.
It does.
It's a PlayStation 1 game or something.
Yeah.
40 winks and loaded. It's like, okay. But it's a lot of old games. But they have Sega Genesis.
Still cool,
man.
Yeah,
and
they got a lot
it has
of cool stuff.
And it has achievements.
Super Nintendo. It has in-house achievements. So I don't think it has Xbox. I think it's their own platform achievement.
No. True Achievements have released a list of achievements.
Oh, is it
I think
for actual Xbox achievements? Look at Mike.
Yeah, it only has
Googling it so
it
fast
only has
right
1,000. It only has 1,000 gamer score, and it's basically like it's not for achievements in individual games. It's more overall like play 200 games or play 250 games or whatever. But there's still 1,000 G to be had from it, which they could increase over time.
Yeah, the overall program, has it. I thought you meant individual games. I think they have their own individual game achievements, though, I think, for those games, right?
Oh, that's cool. No, I don't know. That'd be cool.
Mikey's looking it up right now.
I can see him.
Once he heard you could earn achievements, I saw him so fast.
I just wanted to look it up. I don't I don't achievement hunt like I used to. I did complete Arcade Paradise, but I got burnt out.
Oh, really?
Mikey used to be an
It looked
achievement
good.
hunter until he took an arrow to the knee.
I realized I wasn't enjoying gaming as much.
Yeah.
So like I stopped.
That's
I couldn't do it anymore.
That's why I stopped
Especially
too.
once I realized that all the like you could just go buy $5 for 4,000 gamer score, and I got way into it, but I'm like, it's just not worth it.
It adds up, doesn't it? You end up spending 100. You know, for you, like you'd spend. You're just so easy to spend $100 or 150 and just on these crazy $5 games and $10.
I used
It
to
just
as
adds
well.
up really quick.
Yeah, that's why it just got like I just get a game, play through it real quick, blah, 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 and I was like, I didn't enjoy that. Like, what did I just play? I don't even remember like what just happened.
Like I just tried that. I bought a romance game, and it was just me pressing A to skip through it to get the achievements, and I'm like, this is so lame.
Yeah.
Why did I do this?
Jay says
Oh, the achievements, Mike.
I stopped.
Yeah. Jay says Endstream has game achievements, but not official to Xbox per game. The Xbox achievements are general.
Yeah. I've seen one. It's like play 200 games, play 300 games, play. I mean, it's a lot. Still take you a while, right?
Yeah.
But it looks great. It looks cool. And for $30 $30, it's like, even if it, it's not a lot of money to lose, even if you're not into it, you don't carry on playing it for months and months.
Yeah.
For me, it's cool because I've got a 6-year-old boy who's into playing video games all of a sudden, and it's like, this would be cool for him. It's just a huge amount of retro games that he gets stuck into, which is cool for me.
All right. Well, I think that's our show, guys. Is there anything else you guys want to bring up? We could do our last rounds of what we're going to be playing this week.
No, I can't see anything else.
All right. Well, let's round down then. Anthony, what are you going to be playing this week?
I'm going to probably be playing Gears 5 again. I'm fully involved, invested. I've not burnt out on it yet. It's all fresh to me again. I want to try the Halo Infinite, the new season as well. I've heard there's some cool stuff going on there, which I've not dipped into since it launched. I got the update, but I've not launched it yet.
Actually, yeah, that's another thing I played. Yeah, it was Halo Infinite this week. Yeah, it was actually pretty fun. Mikey? Yeah. Oh, sorry, mid-yawn. We'll go to Grim.
I'm gonna continue with Street Fighter. And honestly, I think I might try Exo Primal. I know that came out, and I'm not expecting much, but just having mechs and dinosaurs, it just sounds like a good time. I hope it's a good time, but it might not be.
It's getting such a lot of good praise. I've seen a lot of people saying it's just mindless, stupid fun. It's just what a game should be. Just pure fun. It knows, like Reese in our Xbox One talk. He even said he knows the game knows it's stupid. It's just having fun with it.
He said it's very much like Starship Troopers or RoboCop humor. They could the guy, I can't remember his name. The guy who directed those, and it's just it knows that and it plays on that. But do you need a team? Do you need? It's online, right? Do you need a team to play it? I mean, could you play it as a solo player and have fun?
I think you can.
I don't know if you can. Yeah, I've seen streams where everyone's teamed up, but I would assume you could play a single player. Probably just scale.
Actually, you can.
I think it's online only.
It is online only, yeah.
Is it? Because I saw Jesse
matchmaking?
From Xbox Era playing it in one of his streams, and he was solo, if I remember correctly.
Oh, right. Okay. That changes it then.
I mean, I think you need to be online, but I think you can play it. It's one of those online, always connectivity games, but I think you can do solo plays.
Cool. Check it out. Apparently, there's a lot of effort to get into the game. Did you see that? You have to go through pages of agreements, and then Capcom makes you sign up for a different account with them, and then somebody said it was like a huge effort to get into the game in your first go.
Oof.
But after that, it sounds great.
So. Yeah, I'll probably be trying it this week. Mikey? Now that you're not young.
I wrapped up a game called Arcade Paradise.
Very nice.
Which that was a lot of fun. People don't know it's like you run a little arcade and you get to play all the games in it. I wanted to go back to Common Hood, but it's such a bad game. Sorry. Game came out. It's on Game Pass. If you want to download what I would think somebody could slap together in 5 minutes on Unreal Engine, not even Unreal Engine. It didn't even look good. Common Hood. Otherwise, I'm gonna play a little Need for Speed Unbound. Been playing that. I've been playing
What's that like?
Breakpoint. Oh, go ahead.
Need for Speed. What's Need for Speed like? Good.
It's definitely an arcade racer.
Okay.
It's very much kind of like an old school Fast and the Furious story, and they even mock that at some point.
Okay.
They're like, oh, we could do this another 8 or 9 times. Otherwise, I want to finish up McPixel 3, which is like it's like a MacGruber parody
It's so good.
of MacGyver, but it's in pixel form, and you go through and try to save the world or save like something in every scene, and you fail a bunch and then figure it out, and it's always stupid. So McPixel 3 is really funny. I'm going to wrap that up. Otherwise, I bought Forspoken, going to play through that. And I also got 2K23 on sale.
Nice.
So I'm going to be playing that. Made my character last night, and it's just extensively stupid what you can do. So
WWE, right?
yeah, I've been looking forward to buying it once you told me about the things that you do in WWE. So now I'm like, I'm just going to buy it. I got to go back to playing wrestling game.
For those that don't know, my buddy has a internet league called BBW, and it's button bashing wrestling. And it's based off the old podcast that I used to do with my buddy New Era Panda. We used to do a podcast with and L Tony, my buddy Tony. We all used to do this button bashing, super button bashers, which we are thinking about bringing back, but that's another show. We make a whole league and we do promo videos, and it's just mindless fun, silly, but it's pretty good. I always like having fun with it. I actually will be finishing up my last Lilith statue. I knocked out the second to last night, and I was just way too tired. It's
Diablo 4, right?
Diablo 4, and then McPixel as well. McPixel 3. I got about 600 achievements, score achievements so far. I'm almost done with it. I think I have another hour or two. It's very quick, very, very quick. It's something you can just sit down, play, and then go from there. And then that's pretty much it. I think Halo, McPixel 3, and Diablo 4 before the season starts.
Is Jay here?
I think he's in the chat. If I had to guess, I would probably say he's going to do Diablo 4 season 1. I've been seeing him play Overwatch 2, actually. I saw him jump back into that for a little bit. So those are probably going to be those.
Cool.
But yeah. That's pretty much it, I think, for our show, right, guys? Awesome show. We got so many great speakers coming up. Thank you to Cade. Thank you to Caffeine. Thank you to I was going to butcher his name. I was going to call him Macho Man, even though that's not his name. I started thinking of wrestling since Mikey said it. Master Man.
Yeah.
I had to go back up and look up for it. Thank you guys for all coming up and talking. We appreciate you guys. That's it for the show. Thank you.
Cool. See you next week.
All right, guys. Happy gaming, y'all.
Adios.